Welcome back to the Contrarians. Here at the desk with me is government relations expert Bruce Meagher and author and business strategist Philip Senior. Gentlemen, no ifs, no buts, no maybes. Yes or no? If I could start with you, Bruce, I want to go straight into Peter Costello. Will Peter Costello still be in Parliament after the next election? And should he be leader?
No, and I don't think he's a viable candidate for the leadership. I suspect, though I don't know, that there are enough people in the party that are frustrated by the way he's carried on. I think that the populace at large would see it as an act of desperation if they changed to Costello, and I don't think he's silly enough to want to end his career with an election defeat.
Philip Senior, same question, yes or no? Will Peter Costello become Liberal leader? Should he become Liberal leader?
Well, I have to say I agree with Bruce on this one. I don't think he should, for the reasons Bruce has outlined. I also don't think he will. I think it's pretty clear from his demeanour and some of the comments he's made on the record that his mind is very much made up and he is looking forward to doing other things.
Bruce, yes or no? Should the CPRS legislation be decoupled from the Renewable Energies Bill?
No, I don't think so. I think that the government should continue to play hardball. As I said before, this is a negotiation. Obviously, if you get to November and the ETS gets voted down again, the whole package gets voted again, they could decouple it then and vote it through, and I think they should. But no, they need to keep the pressure up.
Okay, but they're looking like they might, so you disagree?
Tactically, I wouldn't do it. I think they've got, I don't think 3 months matters.
Philip Senior, oh, you want to respond?
I was just going to say,
can
I just quickly, I would say yes, they do need to decouple it, both for policy and political reasons. Policy reasons, there are people who are being affected by this now, and those stories have been coming out increasingly in the last few weeks. It's very obvious that people who rely on the renewables sector for their livelihood are being caught up in what is a political game at the moment. So I think that's a policy mistake, and I also think it's becoming a political mistake, because if the opposition, as they have done for the last few weeks, has made it very clear that they are ready to pass the renewable energy legislation, and the government is not willing to decouple it, they start to look obstinate. So I think there's a political problem for them as well.
Philip, yes or no? Should Wilson Tuckey retire from politics at age 74? And if he won't, should his party disendorse him to get rid of him?
Should he retire? Yes. Will he retire? No. And so therefore, should the Liberal Party disendorse him? Yes, I think they should.
Big call, even if he runs as an independent?
If he runs as an independent, I think that's going to be a challenge, but I think nonetheless, I think it's the right thing to do, and I don't think Wilson, even Wilson would probably go down that path. I think it's the right thing to do because increasingly it's obvious that he doesn't have the preparedness to exercise the discipline that's needed in opposition if you're going to present a united front, which is needed in opposition. And to be frank, he's one of a broader group of older Liberal parliamentarians who probably should be making way for the next generation of Liberal Party parliamentarians, and he's one of a group in that respect.
Bruce, yes or no, will the Labor Party appoint a senior Labor figure, probably an ex-politician, to the post in Washington?
I think they should. I think there are two principal reasons for that. One, the backbench is becoming a bit irritable about the number of Liberals who are getting plum posts, diplomatic and otherwise. And secondly, I think that it would be a good signal to the Obama administration. American administrations understand political appointments. They would see it as being a suitable, provided it's the right person, and there are a number of very good candidates.
Who would you put amongst them?
Well, I mean, Beasley's obviously been referred to, Carr's been referred to. Not that I'm wishing him out of the government or the cabinet or anything. I would have thought Simon Crean would be a very appropriate appointment. But someone like that, of that seniority, as I say, it sends the right message and would help cement good ties, I think.
I agree with that, but it's interesting because given that Kevin Rudd, I think when he was Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister, came out and said that John Howard has comprehensively prostituted the diplomatic corps, it becomes hard for him at any point in time, I would say, to appoint Labor figures for want of being accused of doing the same thing?
Yes, although he has made some senior appointments. Like, for example, he appointed John Douth to London, a very senior diplomat. So he's made, enough diplomatic appointments. He's made enough appointments from the other side, or kept people in place rather than immediately recalling them. That I think, I think there's cover for a sensible appointment, and nobody would complain about some of those people.
Philip Senior, yes or no? When you look at the Liberal Party, they should put forward a massive policy manifesto well ahead of the next campaign to get themselves back in the race.
Yes, although I don't know that it has to be massive, but I agree with the premise that they should put forward detailed policy manifesto or prospectus.
Fight Back too?
Yeah, well, I think the interesting thing about this issue is that Fight Back has given the idea of oppositions putting forward a detailed policy package a bad name, and I think inherently John Hewson was on the right track. It's just that there were elements of that package that were particularly unpopular and that they didn't manage the politics of well. I don't think that, and unfortunately I think that has been interpreted by political parties as opposition shouldn't put forward detailed policies, when in fact what it really should have been interpreted as is they need to think about more carefully what those policies are and how they're going to play in the electorate, as opposed to just say we can't put out any detailed policies.
One last yes or no for both of you, starting with you, Bruce. Yes or no, should political donations be capped, and should they be capped at about $1,000?
No, I don't. Certainly not under the current system. I don't see that that's workable.
Why not?
Well, unless you're going to significantly increase public funding, so this is not a yes or no. I mean, there are puts and takes, but without a significant increase in public funding, it's not possible to run a campaign. And my guess is that you'll end up with a situation like America, where people find ways around it by other devious means, and that's also not going to be a good outcome. It'd be better to have transparency with donations.
Philip Senior, your response: should political donations be capped, yes or no?
No, I don't think they should. I agree with Bruce on this one, that it fundamentally requires huge changes to other parts of the political system.
I can't believe I'm sitting here with a pair of people that don't want to cap political donations. I mean, I suppose when you're dealing with people from business, you can maybe understand that capping donations isn't a good thing. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, the point is it's not isolated from the rest of the political system. If you do go down that path, it does mean you have to really think about public funding. That raises a whole bunch of issues. There are also freedom of speech issues involved. I don't think it's as simple as just saying we want money out of politics. The key is actually transparency and regulation, not banning.
Okay, thanks very much, gentlemen. We're all out of time. You've been watching The Contrarians. I'm Peter Van Onselen, the host, and with me today has been Bruce Meagher, former Labor Party advisor and communications expert, and Philip Senior, co-author of Howard's End and business communications strategist. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll be with you again at the same time next week. See you later.